When I watched a monster movie, the big money shot for me was the monster. And in Japanese kaiju films, that's what it was about. Kaiju.
That word, kaiju, means monster in Japanese.
The kaiju is a classic Japanese genre. Giant beasts and monsters that have all kinds of different characteristics and shapes and sizes.
The kaijus in Japan have many, many forms. What I love about the Japanese imagination of the kaiju and the monsters in general is that it's not bridled by biology as much as Western imagination. The kaiju can be very outlandish. They are almost ornamental.
Giving dimension to and relatability to the kaiju, as strange as that may sound, that is a particular gift of Guillermo's. It's also a specific goal of Guillermo's.
The pageantry aspect of the kaiju films was so great. It was about seeing the monster destroy the greatest maquettes. So everything was fetishistic for me. I wanted the tanks, I wanted the buildings for my toys. Everything was a toy. The monster was a toy, the tanks were a toy, the planes were a toy. So it was like a universe of toys and monsters, which for a kid is irresistible. There's something very pure and very full of love in monster movies, even more so in kaiju movies. You just love the creatures, and giant robots as a cherry on top. In Western cinema, there is not a great tradition of mecha. You can see beautiful robots in movies like Westworld or Terminator, AI, but there is no tradition really in Western live action about robots that are 250 foot high.
The term Jaeger is German for hunter. It's one of the nicknames for these mechs.
Well, Jaeger flows from Japanese mecha culture, and it is basically a titanic robot that is in the style of that Japanese pop culture.
Mecha in anime is gorgeous. It's about fluid shapes. It's really beautiful.
Mecha is obviously something that hasn't been done a lot for mainstream audiences, so we needed to top what had gone before, and we needed to get bigger and badder.
I was very influenced by anime, mainly the anime of my youth. Tetsujin 28, which is an anime that is really beautiful. And the live-action series from Japan, Space Giant, which was a series that was very important for me as a kid. There were these robots that would transform into rockets. All this tradition that in Japan is an honor. There are designers that only specialize in doing mecha. I really think that people that like monster movies, mecha movies, those movies are tapping to a place that is really, really intimate in you and is really, really pure in you. And it's part of the essence of who you are. All these things is a fascination that is really part of being a kid.